Generally in life, we never get anything unless we ask for it. Will you marry me? Can I get a raise? Can I get that to go, please? Son, can you eat your vegetables? Officer, can I get off with a warning just this one time? Can I get you to hit the like button? Please. Thanks. And you knew I had to ask, but I appreciate you doing that for me. But you get the point. So I ask you, if you're making phone calls and you're building great rapport with your potential clients, why are you not asking them if they're considering you to help them sell or buy their next home? This video is all about the exit interview and ranking your potential clients' willingness to work with you on their next transaction. This is crucial unless you want to be like the cat who spends endless amount of time chasing its tail with no chance of ever catching the mouse, or in this case, your potential client, so you can get one of those big, sweet, cheesy real estate checks that you got in the business for, but that can be elusive for so many people. In this video, we're going to give you the knowledge so you can stop endlessly chasing clients and have the confidence in knowing that you're going to get the deal. And believe me, I know your pain because I felt it also. But this knowledge gave me the power to take back my weekends and take back my life, frankly, because it's much easier to enjoy your time off and your weekends if you know you have deals in the oven waiting to be served up, as long as you use the right ingredients and the right recipe. All right, guys, so I'm Ken Blumberg, and this is Making Probate Easy, the channel where you're going to earn more and live better. So go ahead and give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and let's get going. All right, so this is the 5th video in my cold calling masterclass, starting with video number 1, ethical cold calling tactics that actually work. All 5 will be linked in the comments and a playlist on the channel. If you watch them all, you'll get explosive results from your cold calling. But if you're picking up the phone to make your phone calls, then I know you're going to get a ton of value out of this video regardless. Okay, so let's say you're wrapping up a phone call and you're ready to tell the potential client when and how you're going to follow up with them. And you're thinking to yourself, this call has gone extremely well, and I'm sure John wants to work with me, and I know I'm going to get this deal. But how do you actually know? What I would suggest is don't wait 3 months and 10 phone calls later when you finally look on the MLS and you see the home was listed with somebody else and sold with them, and then you never want to cold call again. Don't do that to yourself. And it's not because John's a bad person, it's because you didn't properly qualify him. So I have a better idea, because I know you're a leader and you're going to lead John to a successful close of his purchase or sale. Why don't we just go ahead and ask John if he feels the same way about you as that you feel about him, that he's someone that's going to be amazing to work with, and then you can find out if he's ready to follow you as you lead him through his real estate transaction. And it's so easy to do. So before you wrap up the call, just recap by telling him, hey, John, thank you so much for taking this time with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for sharing with me a little bit about your mom. She sounds like she was a beautiful mother and a person. And I'm so touched to hear that you have so much appreciation for what a wonderful mother and a person she was, rather than being resentful for her passing. Because we both know not everybody's as fortunate as you to have somebody that wonderful in their lives. So, yeah, I'm just so happy for you that you've come to peace with the situation. And of course, now this isn't a probate situation, but whatever the conversation is, you want to recap the conversation. If you listen to what I suggest, I always suggest trying to go a little deeper with the client, especially when you're first meeting them, so you really understand what makes them tick and what's important to them, and that helps you build that deeper rapport. So you give your closing statement of empathy, and then you say, by the way, John, as I mentioned to you, I know the neighborhood that your home that you're inheriting is in. I know the square footages. I know what the values are in that neighborhood. And I even have buyers on my database that are looking to purchase homes in that very neighborhood as we speak. And I'm very, very confident that I can get your home sold very quickly and at the very high end of the market. So, John, I'm very confident I'll make things extremely easy for you. But I'm wondering, John, can you see yourself working with me, and would you consider letting me help you with the sale of your mom's house? And then you just wait. Now, if you had a good conversation with your potential client, they're going to let you know that, yes, of course, they would at least consider working with you. Or they're going to let you know why it's unlikely that they would work with you, or why they would never consider working with you. Like maybe their brother or sister or best friend is a realtor. That's a deal you're probably never going to get. But either way, wouldn't it be great to know up front so you can spend more time with that client if they are willing to consider you? Or you can spend your valuable time somewhere else if that person's not even willing to consider working with you. Then after you have the answer to that crucial question, you can give them a score. And judging by how enthusiastic they are, you can also raise or lower the score. So if they're definitely enthusiastic and they say, yes, I would definitely consider working with you, and you can follow up, and yes, it'll be great to talk to you again when you follow up with me in 2 or 3 weeks or whatever time frame you set, then that would be a high score for that client. Now, if you watch my other videos, then you know the other pre-qualifying questions I ask are specifically after I give my offer and let them know what services I can provide to them. And if you want to know the full list of services I provide, you can watch my other video, Experts Reveal Smooth Real Estate Offer Secrets. And then you'll have the full list of the other services that I provide. But immediately after I make my offer, then I immediately make my transition into asking 4 other pre-qualifying questions. And that would sound like this. Hey, John, I was just wondering, have you considered whether you're going to move into the property or get it rented? Or are you thinking about selling the property, John? And based on the answer to that question, you have another critical score to give that client. So if they tell you they're definitely selling, fantastic. Then you have a 8 or 9 or 10 score. If they tell you they're not sure if they're going to rent the house or possibly get it sold, then you can offer comparable sales or rental comps, but you know you're going to give them a lower score. And you can even ask probing questions like, which way are you leaning at this time? And determine a score. So we're not going to get into that nuance, but you want to get a score if they're selling the home. Again, if you have a very high score, then you've got a very powerful green light. Then the next question I would ask, John, are there any other real estate agents that you're considering to help you with your sale? And discover whether they're going to use a friend, whether they're planning on using an attorney referral, or to find out if they say, we really haven't considered that yet, it's too soon in the process, which is ideal. And that would give you another relatively high score because they're telling you that there's not a definite alternative to working with you at this point. Question number 3 of this preliminary discovery phase is, are there any other decision makers that are going to help you decide who you're going to end up working with, or are you the person that's going to make the decision of who you hire to help you represent you with your sale? Right? So if there's no other decision makers, again, you have a high score for that question. And then finally, for the preliminary questions, what condition is the home in, John? Is it in really good condition where you think it would be better off being sold on the resale market? Or does it need a lot of work where more than likely you're going to want a cash offer? Now, if you're not looking to make a cash offer, if you don't have cash buyers in your database, maybe you want to eliminate this question. I prefer to ask it because I am looking to flip or wholesale. and I do have a lot of cash buyers in my database. So if they need a cash offer, it's important to me that I know that, and I would give a score based on the answer that they give me. Then, as we've already discussed, before you get off the phone, you make your statement of empathy, and then you ask them would they consider working with you. So now you have the answers to 5 different questions to give them individual scores for, and as long as they haven't eliminated themselves on any particular question, like saying they're definitely keeping the house, or they're 100% going to work with their brother-in-law, or anything like that, then you can take the total of the 5 scores, add them together, and divide them, which will give you an overall lead score. Now, if you have anything under a 6, I wouldn't even follow up with that person. And over time, you can raise your standard from 7 or above, or even 8 or above when you're following up with people, based on how many leads you have and how many phone calls you're making and how valuable is your time. And now that you have a lead ranking system, you can figure out how many transactions you want to do, whether that's 1, 2, or even 10 a month, based on the fact that if you want 4 deals a month, you have to have 10 very high qualified, very high probability people that you're talking to that are going to potentially turn into deals as your baseline. But obviously, you can track and figure out your numbers, but that's a starting point. Now, if you're calling your leads early and often, and by the end of the month or the end of the amount of leads you have, you don't have the numbers to match the number of transactions you're trying to do, then you know you need more leads. Simple as that. Or you need to call through your leads multiple times to see if you can produce that number of highly qualified prospects. Or you need to recall your leads to see if you can produce that number of highly qualified prospects. So it's not magic. At that point, it's math. You know what the math is. And if you want to reach a certain number of transactions a month, you can do the math. And if you do the work and you follow this framework, it will make your life so much easier. And that way, if a deal falls out, if somebody you thought was probably going to work with you decides not to, or they end up hiring somebody else, you're not even going to care at that point, because you're going to have enough other amazing prospects and deals. And at that point, you're going to say to yourself, some will and some won't, and so what? And just get to work and helping the people that choose to work with you and that you choose to work with. All right, I'm Ken Blumberg with Making Probate Easy. Thank you for watching. This is the channel where you're going to earn more and live better. If you want to talk to me about how I can help you take your business to the next level, reach out to me. All my contact information is going to be in the description below. We can set up a 15-minute Zoom meeting, and we can discuss how I can help you take your business to the next level. All right, guys. Again, give me a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if I don't hear from you first, I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.